So this is a video series. I don't know which one I'm on, 4, 5, something like that. We're going to talk right now about remembering it's a ride, finding yourself to be happy. Self is a capital S. So this journey, very exciting. We wanted it all, if you recall, on the last video. We wanted the ups and the downs. And this is a very exciting ride unless we forget it's a ride. And then it can be terrifying. Jonathan Warren's roller coaster. If you want to YouTube Jonathan Warren roller coaster, or maybe find it on my YouTube, there should be a link in this. It's a wonderful video on that very concept. So our work then becomes to increase our awareness of this wonderful divine world that we're in, and within. Actually, this divine world is without and within. It's both. It's all of it. Be aware of it while we participate in this dark world of perception. You're like, well, it is dark, but it only becomes bad when I judge it. We get to use the catalyst of the dark stories our ego is spitting out in order to constantly practice forgiveness, acceptance, and loving service. Again, that's that point, the real point of that book that I wrote, The Choice, Wake Up and Body Down. So if you want more on that, check out that book. So let's put this idea into practice. If you are newly considering these ideas, it can actually be very disheartening. Once you have a baseline of awareness to see the game we are playing, some just want to give up and settle for the ego's lies and that someday we'll be happy. It's like, I don't want to play this game anymore. I want out. I want to numb myself with activity or any number of things. And I'm just going to settle for the future hope of happiness and be miserable along the way. And I don't blame anybody for that at all. I actually have done that, do that. It can be disappointing to realize a lifelong goal of pursuing lasting happiness will never work. It can be. But even though it can't be pursued, it can be experienced, this happiness. We just need to stop pursuing and look past the layers of stories we have been telling about the world. And we can do this now, right where you are. The simplest way to be free and happy is just to observe and accept life as it comes. Just observe and accept. And it doesn't mean that you don't go after what you want. That's great. I think that's what we're here to do. Go after what you want. But just remember, the outcomes aren't what make you fulfilled and happy. The outcomes are just outcomes. It's just more of life coming at. The happiness and fulfillment always is from within. And yet, we're going to still go after stuff. That's what we do here. So to achieve this observing state, this neutral state where you're not dependent on outcomes, you need not improve or have any kind of awakening. That's good news. Just look past the layers to see a deeper you. The deeper you is you as well. Your higher self, whatever you want to call it. If you can see past the identification, which is all these stories of you, you've had your whole life with the version of you that was born, the version of you that has a name, the version of you that can lose stuff or gain stuff or will die. If you can see past that, there you are again. Like no matter what you can exclude from your idea of you, it's still going to be you looking at that idea that you just excluded. Keep on excluding, keep on cutting things out. What is not you? And in the end, that's one way to realize your true self. There's still an essence. There's still a entity, an awareness that's always going to be there. So this is what is meant by the spiritual admonition, stop doing and just be. Anita Morjani, in her book, Dying to Be Me, which is her experience of what it's like after you die, really interesting book. She said, God is not a being, but a state of being. I like that. She needed to do nothing to be her healed higher self. It was her all along. And that book was her when she died of cancer and came back to life. So that's really interesting. We too can be that God state of being right now. It's a state of being, not a person. So this is also how to be happy. It's not giving up the the ego, what it wants, it's seeing past desire altogether and seeing the deeper you that has no capacity for suffering or sadness. If you can imagine this, then hold that image and ask for God's helpers to help you, because it helps to ask for God's helpers. If you want this, then you're ready. See past the layers and know that you are complete. See past the layers and know that you are whole. See past those layers and know that you're accepted. See past those layers and know that you are happy. At least a portion of you is. And what it seems like, it's the bigger, much, much bigger portion of you. See past the layers that cover this reality. This divine you is already here, just watching us experience an exciting and sometimes miserable and perilous world. This is Christ within. Also, find Christ in the other, watching you. See Christ within you, looking out your eyes at the Christ in the other. Take this to many extremes. So here's a warning as well. Once you have these wonderful experiences and gain awareness, your little mind and perceptions, they keep going. They keep going. It's not like you can find happiness and then you're set for the rest of your life, because you still signed up for this dark thing that we're doing, this experience of separation. You're still going to fall in the same issues, I guess it is, your same habits. But just be gentle with yourself is my encouragement. This is a moment-by-moment task of finding the you within. When you catch yourself falling back into old habits, just notice and see through them to that ever-present substructure that is the self, that is your higher self, your true self. You can not do this in the past. You cannot save up and do this in the future. You can only do this now. I'm going to stop here for this video. And in the next video, we're going to talk about accepting death and some more activity, how to engage in the world.